The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the opinions of the staff or management of Visionary Related Entertainment.
Aloha and welcome to Maui Nonprofit Notes. Now in our 10th year of broadcasting each week, we continue talking story with Maui's nonprofit executive directors and staff to find out how they're working to support those with needs within our community. Maui Nonprofit Notes is generously sponsored by Pacific Source. If you're building or remodeling a home, please stop by Pacific Source's cabinet and appliance showroom located in the Waikapu Bayshard. I'm Susie Tiemann, Executive Director of Lokahi Pacific, and your host for Maui Nonprofit Notes. During this hour, we're going to share some of the experiences of our nonprofit agencies and just how they are changing lives, changing communities, and creating miracles of hope for those with needs. And today, I love, every time I say that, and I know we're going to be talking about the animals in our community, and I'm thinking, we're helping as many animals as we are people.
Absolutely, yep.
It's true. A two-way street.
That's true.
And I can't imagine not having a puppy dog greet me when I come home.
I feel the same way.
Yeah, I mean, I just, and I hear people who lose their dogs. I had a good friend who lost one who's 12 years old the other day, and his daughter asked him first thing, we getting a new puppy? And he says, I don't think so. He says, we didn't pay enough attention to her. It wasn't fair.
Yeah.
It was just all about her being here. And he said, we don't have the time. The kids are growing up. They're busy doing other things.
Right.
He says, not right now. And then as I was leaving, one of the kids says, he doesn't know what Christmas is coming.
Oh.
And I said, you kids aren't going to do something, are you? And they go, she gave that smile like, Dad, watch out.
Yeah. A lot of times that happens where, the one that wants the animal the least ends up being in love with the animal the most.
Yeah.
A lot of times that's dads. They're begrudgingly brought into it, and then before you know it, it becomes their dog, and they love them. So.
Right. So we'll see. That gives him what, 5 months, 4 months,
right?
Without
to hatch a plan.
Yeah, and they can set it up, and he can start to miss the dog.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see what happens at Christmas.
Yeah.
Could be interesting. Although I've never been a big fan of getting a dog for Christmas.
Yeah.
And I think that goes back to, there was a time when people said, you got to know the animal and the people.
I think that's true. Yeah.
You can't just go down and say, I want that one, and then take it home to Dad.
Right. The whole family has to be on board. Everyone has to be ready for it because it's a big responsibility and it's a lifetime responsibility.
Right.
So.
And the voice, I did not introduce our guest today. We just got started talking, which is, I think we do that all the time, don't we, Nancy?
Yes. Yeah,
we
I
have
think so.
Nancy Willis with us, who is the Director of Development and Marketing for the Maui Humane Society. And there's just so much going on over there.
There is a lot happening there.
But it seems like it's constant.
Yes, we keep waiting for the down period, and it just never comes. So, but that's okay. It keeps us busy. The days go by fast. We love what we do, so it's okay.
Yeah, it's an incredible place. And for those of you who maybe haven't been there for a while, you've got to go check out the Humane Society facilities. I went over Monday and took a kind of a last tour with Jerlene before she leaves,
Right.
and it was just incredible, the changes that have taken place there in the last 5 years since she's been on board.
Yeah.
And, I know she didn't do it all by herself, and she's the first one to say, without the team, none of that could have happened. And that's
She's
truly
very
how she
generous in that way, but really it's been her leadership.
Well, she was a spark.
Yeah.
Every major endeavor has to have that cheerleader, spark,
Right.
whatever.
That's true.
And guiding factor, I guess, included in that. And so, Jerlene, again, I get my hat off to what you've been able to accomplish over there. And Nancy, you've come on board while she was there.
Yes.
And the staff, I mean, it was great just to see the camaraderie of the staff, from volunteers to paid staff.
We hear that all the time. I was sharing with you before we went on air that we have a lot of visitors that come in, people from the mainland. They're here on vacation, and sometimes we see it's an old building and we need this, we need that, but people come there every single day and say, this is beautiful, we love this facility, everybody seems so happy, there's fresh air, there's trees, it's green. And so it makes you step back and really appreciate it when when you're in the middle of it and you see it every day, you sort of miss that. So we hear it. I just love talking to visitors when they come because I think it gives us a different perspective on it.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's true. You know where all the pieces are that are
Right.
not showing.
Right, exactly.
But like the vet center,
Yes.
the veterinarian center.
Yes.
Dr. Kim was busy working. I think they were working with cats on Monday.
It was, yeah.
Spay neuter.
It was Feral Cat Monday.
Yeah, and it was just, the cat. It was just an incredible number of cats that were being taken care of.
They
that
can
day.
do 60 to 70 surgeries in a day.
Wow.
They start at 8 a.m. They're usually done wrapping up by about noon or 1. And there's always the 2 surgeons, Dr. Kim and Dr. Lisa. And then we also have Dr. KTK, who comes in and helps with some of our Hope Fund cases. She does a lot of the special surgeries.
I see.
But yeah, they are amazing what they do. And of course the staff, the vet staff.
Right.
Yeah.
It just, it was like, I hate to refer working with animals as being a line,
assembly line, yeah,
kind
but
of thing.
it's what it looks like, right?
But yeah, getting it, it's the timing of getting the cats ready to go in for surgery when the doctor's done with the last one.
Yep.
Give her a minute to have a sip of coffee and then jump into the next one.
And the fact that it's, we love to say and we stress that it's high quality spay and neuter. So even though they're doing it fast and they're moving through it and it can feel like an assembly line, it's still high quality. It's still the same quality you would get if you went to a private vet. And we say it's all eyes on all the patients all the time.
And that was obvious.
And there are volunteers assigned when the animals are in recovery. That is their sole job, is to watch the animals, to look for anything that may be happening, any kind of alert. But yeah, they really are an amazing group of what they do, because they do all of the community spay and neuter, folks that come to us. And then in the afternoon, they take care of all of our shelter animals.
Wow.
And so that's all the care for those animals. That's doing the health certificates for the animals that are being transferred through Wings of Aloha. They are jamming from morning until they leave in the evening. Yeah.
It's incredible, and you're right. I was watching the volunteers that were in there doing certain things, and the professionals that were doing their thing, and it was just all eyes on what they were doing. There was some chatter, but it was kind of that chatter that you can do without thinking. If you can relate to that, because the whole time it was, here's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I think it's important to stress that just because we're an animal shelter doesn't mean that the veterinary care is any less than. It truly is on par, if not better, what you would receive at a private clinic. And we offer low-cost spay and neuter, of course. So I think maybe that's why people think, oh, well, gosh, how can they do it so cheap? Well, we can do it so cheap because of the grants that we get and these amazing grantors that have stepped forward to help us with the overpopulation in Maui.
Right.
So, yeah, and I just can't say enough. They're a tremendous group of people, and they work so hard.
They certainly do, and it was, I guess it was the combination of the redo of the facilities. And
What it was like before, too.
Yeah.
So you know how small it was.
Oh, yeah.
I only can hear Dr. Kim talk about it because, of course, she's been there 20-plus years. But, basically it was operating in a closet,
Pretty
So
much.
to be able to have recovery areas, separate recovery areas for cats and dogs and a whole surgery wing, and they have their own offices with their own computers, which seems like such a little thing to have your own computer, but they all used to share, I think, 2 computers. So, yeah, it's really something else.
Yeah, it was just, it was heartwarming. There's no other word for it. And I have all the greatest respect. I think the other doctor had been called in for jury duty or something.
Dr. Lisa, yeah, she was at
that
jury
morning,
duty.
and it was kind of like, oh my gosh, how's Dr. Kim going to do all this?
When Dr. Lisa was on vacation a couple weeks ago, there was an email that was going around, and it said, "We're just trying to not kill Dr. Kim." And I said, well, that's a good goal, to not kill our veterinarian. Because she was doing it all, the spay and neuter and the health certificates and shelter animals with Dr. KTK and some other actually visiting vets that came in to help, which, I think the vet community really rallies and supports the Humane Society. You know, when we had the fire a couple of weeks ago, Dr.
Right.
Jared Leeper was one of the first ones down to help us transport animals. They stayed with us. We had folks come from CMAC. We had Dr. Tanya Weeks from Maui Lani came over to foster animals. So we really have the support of all of the vet clinics in Maui,
Right.
which is amazing.
That is.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I'd been on a Veterans Highway since the fire. And I was coming back from the Lahaina side, so I came across Maalaea and then back up to the complex there. And I remembered seeing that picture that was out that showed the burned area around
the aerial.
Yeah. And I'm going, oh my gosh, it really was. I mean, that was not a fake photo. That was for real. And it's like, how did you time it to get out of there before you were overcome by smoke or heat or whatever?
Well, Geraldine and I were actually out in the back on the driveway watching it. And at that point, it was about a mile to a mile and a half away. She was on the phone with the fire department, and they were telling us, you guys are fine. It's going the other direction. Don't worry. And this is really one of the most amazing parts. I've told this to several people, and it's one of those things where you just get goosebumps. And as we were watching it and we're hearing, you're fine, there were people pulling up in trucks saying, hey, are you guys evacuating? And we're like, no, they say we're good. Don't worry. And they said, you know what? We're just going to park over here and wait just in case. Just in case.
Wow.
These big tough guys in trucks, and they just parked their cars just to wait in case we needed help. I mean, that was simply amazing. And then at some point it turned, and then we got the word, yes, go. It's time to go. And I've said, I'm sure people have heard me say this before, you have a plan and you hope you never have to use it.
Right.
And we had a good, solid plan. And Jamie, who's our chief operations officer, really took the lead and was directing everybody. I was out on the road as cars were coming, kind of directing, park here, go here. And she was just directing the whole evacuation process with getting the animals out and getting them into cars and getting over to Maui High. She was also in touch with the Red Cross, who are the ones that set up the Maui High, for us to go for the 2 days. It ended up being 2 days.
Right.
Which, we thought it'd be 2 hours. And then you think about all the supplies. We had to get food and medicine and just all the things that we needed, because who knew if we were going to get back there? Who knew if we were going to have a shelter?
Right. Who knew if anything would be left?
So it was really a huge effort. And then we put the call out on our Facebook page, and they started coming. It was amazing to see. I know I use that word so much, but I don't even know what else to say about it, because when you think about people dropping everything they're doing to come help the animals,
Right.
I don't know. It makes me almost a little teary-eyed to think about it still to this day, because they just started coming,
It's incredible.
and they were coming up that road and bringing carriers, and because at that point we felt like we had enough carriers to get everybody out, but we didn't know what it was going to be on the other end. We wanted all the animals to be comfortable, have their own space. And so, we were out of there, 245 animals in under an hour.
Oh my gosh.
We
Wow.
evacuated, including Freddie, our tortoise.
Oh yeah.
I think
that
we got
must have
the
been a
most
challenge.
the most asked about Freddie on Facebook was, is Freddie okay? Yes, he was fine. He wasn't happy being in the carrier, but he was fine.
I can't imagine a carrier big enough for Freddie.
It was one of the extra large dog carriers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because I saw him. He was all safely tucked in his house. In his own yard.
Right.
Monday morning when I was over there.
Right.
But it's just it's astounding, and yet I'm standing there, kind of probably where you were when you were watching the fire coming towards you, and it's just amazing how close that fire got to your building on that side.
Yeah.
On the other side, it's kind of a little ways, but
when we were pulling out, Geraldine was in front of me. We were, I think, almost the last people to leave. Our facilities manager was the very last. And I called her and I said, look in the rearview mirror. I said, I'm sick. And she's like, I know, I can't look. I mean, so it felt that close.
Yeah.
It was that nerve-wracking.
Wow.
And then when we got back in on Saturday, a couple of people, Leslie from our board and our photographer, Ruby, went and walked the perimeter to take pictures. And we haven't really put these pictures out, but the fire came up to the back of our storage containers.
Oh, wow.
So it kissed the back of the container. So it was literally that
there,
close.
yeah.
And then, of course, we've had flare-ups. We had a
Right.
big flare-up last Wednesday. Flames are about 20 feet high just over our back fence. Even last
wow.
night there was a flare-up. We have security patrolling, but there was a flare-up. So, it's a lot. There's a lot of rubbish and stuff out there, and so who knows what's smoldering underneath. But the fire department's been great. You call them; they're there on a dime. They have just been coming to check on us just routinely, knowing that there could be still problems out there. And so, I can't say enough about the fire department, the police department, the community.
Right.
Everybody jumped in, I think, to save that little shelter.
Right. And that's when you realize how open you are.
Yes.
Pardon the expression, you're an open shelter, right?
Yes, exactly.
But open to anything because you are there by yourself.
Yes.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I hate to break this up, but I got to take a break.
Yeah.
Aloha from Pacific Source, and thank you for your support over the years. Pacific Source has offered more of what builders and homeowners value most in building materials and cabinet design. We've done this by offering superior customer service and products, as well as by designing kitchens and baths that are intelligent and elegant while staying true to your vision and budget. Visit our showroom in Waikapu in Central Maui, where we display a variety of cabinets as well as top-name appliances like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Viking, KitchenAid, and more. We display countertops, tile and wood flooring, and several brands of windows and doors, including Fleetwood multi-slides and La Cantina folding doors. Come in and talk to our designers about making your dreams become a reality. From concept to completion, we really believe our attention to detail and superior service are what sets us apart. Let us show you what we mean. We are a Pacific Source at 515 East Oahe Way in the Consolidated Base Yard in Waikapu, just off Waiko Road. Call us at 986-0380. That's 986-0380, or look us up online at packsource.com.
And we are back. This is Maui Nonprofit Notes, the weekly radio show where we talk story with our nonprofit executive directors and staff and find out what's going on in their world. And for many of you, you've heard the story about the Maui Humane Society and its escape from the fire. Mm-hmm. And during the break, Nancy was telling me about some of the flare-ups that have happened. And, since I drove that piece on Monday, there's bushes sitting out there that look like they're just ready to go up in a ball of flames. Mm-hmm. And it wouldn't take much to start something again.
And a lot of rubbish and rocks, so probably still smoldering deep down in the earth. Like I said, we had a flare-up last night that we were made aware of. But, thank goodness for the fire department. I mean, they are great.
They're
we call
tremendous.
them, and they're out immediately.
Yeah.
So.
And they were fighting their own fire on Monday when I was coming over there. I was watching as I was getting closer there, coming by from Alaya, that one above Maui Meadows.
Right.
And it was like, oh, my gosh, you're going to smoke again.
I know.
And it's like, this is really hard because we haven't had rain.
I know.
There's nothing protecting us kind of thing. And this heat, like somebody said, all it takes is a glass bottle out there next to some brush and that sun hitting it, and you've got a fire started.
Right.
That's scary.
It is scary.
Ugh. So let's get off the fire. Safe.
Yes.
Happy to say you evacuated 245 animals.
We did.
And then you had people who came in and just couldn't wait to foster.
Yes, we had people chomping at the bit that wanted to foster. So the first day, the Thursday when we were there, we really were looking at our high-risk animals and trying to get them immediately out into foster. So those were rabbits and guinea pigs, so we immediately got them out. We were looking at some of our older cats, senior cats, some of the obese cats, the animals that the heat would be really hard for them because we were outside at Maui High. It actually was cooler outside than inside, so we were out under a really nice banyan tree.
Yeah.
And so we got the high-risk animals out, some of the bottle babies, the little kittens that have to be fed every 2 hours, that kind of thing. So we got them out the first day, and then the went into a second day, which nobody expected. We spent the night out there. Had staff and volunteers that spent the night, that cared for the animals. And we really thought the next morning we would be able to go back, and we weren't. I live in Kihei, so when I went home, I think I went home at about midnight that night. And I came back at 6 a.m. and they said, hey, just stop by the shelter, see what's going on. And I mean, there was still fire around the shelter.
Wow.
So we weren't safe to go back. So as it sort of dragged into the second day, we decided we were going to activate our internal network of fosters. And we put the call out for dogs and cats. And we had people come and take them. So over the course of the 2 days, we fostered out 157 animals.
Oh my gosh.
Of the 245 that we had brought over.
Wow.
Yeah. And, some were just until the next day when we got back in. I think some are actually still out in foster. Anytime an animal can get a break from the shelter, that's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, people came. Like I said, some of the vet clinics took animals, especially the higher risk animals. I think Dr. Weeks took several 13 rabbits or something, and 5 cats. I don't even know. But yeah, everybody just stepped forward
Wow.
to help. And so then we had a much smaller group the second night. And then when we moved back in on Saturday morning, we had a lot less animals to transport back.
Right.
And as I said, they've been trickling back in from
Oh,
foster.
okay. So some are
And then-
still out.
And then you also hope for some foster fails, that some people will maybe fall in love,
Right.
And keep them.
Right.
And then we had 2 adoptions out of that.
Oh, cool.
So that was exciting. Yeah, 2
Wow.
dogs were adopted.
I can't, wrap my head around fostering an animal because I get attached quickly.
I know. I'm the same way. It is one of the hardest things to do because you have to let them go, but it truly is life-saving to be able to foster an animal. I tend to foster the dogs that go on Wings of Aloha because I know there's no way I can keep them because they're promised and
I see.
they have to get on the plane, so I have to say goodbye to them. It doesn't make it any easier, but you can't keep them.
Right.
And then I have fostered some medical cases where they just need a quiet place to recover. I seem to be the queen of 3-legged dogs, so when dogs have amputations, they seem to come with me. But I've fostered cats, and
Yeah.
I've taken the bottle baby class, but I haven't done any bottle babies yet. The little kittens, those kind of scare me a little bit.
Yeah. That
just
almost
'cause they're
takes
so
somebody
fragile.
that almost takes somebody who's home all day that can. Isn't it 'cause of the
Well, we have
feeding?
staff that bring them to work, actually,
Oh,
in
I see.
carriers.
Oh, okay.
But they're so fragile and tiny,
Yeah.
and I have done when they're a little bit older, when they're not on bottles, when they're on what we call mush.
Oh.
And they have a little bit more of a personality, and because I think that's hard, the little teeny
Yeah.
tinies. But yeah, fostering truly saves lives. We just wrapped up our fiscal year, and we sent out to foster over 2,000 animals in our fiscal year.
It's incredible.
We have a full-time foster coordinator, and she's just been dedicated to fostering.
There's only 365 days in a year.
Yeah.
2,000 animals.
I know. Well, at the height of kitten season, we can have over 200. I haven't heard the specific numbers this year, but last summer I know at the height of it we had over 250 kittens out at one time.
Wow.
So, yeah.
And they go out individually?
They'll
try
go
to keep
out
together?
in packs, yeah. Actually, kittens are better when they have partners. When you have a single kitten, they really need to learn how to be a cat.
Right.
And so if they don't have their mama correcting them, then they'll have siblings correcting them. I had a little single, and he was a terror because he didn't have any manners, and he had nobody correcting him. So he was a little nightmare. So we put him in with another group so he could learn how to be a cat.
One of the things that intrigued me when I was over there on Monday was the cat condominiums,
Yes.
where there's like spaces for 3 cats in the unit, and how this one particular one, there was one cat that just wanted to play, and the other 2 just wanted to sleep.
Yeah.
Leave me alone kind of thing.
Right.
And the one that wanted to play would jump down on them and get them going and so forth and so on. And then when they kind of came, woke up to what was going on and they started playing, then she wandered off and went up and back up to her room like to go to sleep or
Yeah.
whatever. And those two ended up playing with each other. And it was like, that is so cool.
I know.
Is that human nature that's going on there?
They
What
all
is this?
have their own little personalities.
Yeah.
They're all individuals.
But
Every animal.
that's so cool, the cat condominiums.
Mhm.
And then what was it? There was one intriguing cat had a stripe right down in the nose, and was black on one side and brown on the
Oh,
other
yeah.
side. And it was like, wait a minute, am I seeing things?
Yeah.
And then you had a couple of the black cats with the green eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And I had not seen a pure black cat with green eyes before.
We've got a little bit of everything, especially right now. We are pretty full. We were talking about it before, but we have a lot of cats in house. So we actually are running a promotion right now. We're saying we're at Catpacity, and we have a generous donor who is actually paying for all of the adoption fees for adult cats now through August 4th, just to give us a little bit of breathing room in our cat ohana. We, of course, have 2 family rooms where the cats are free roaming, and they just can do whatever they want. They go outside, lay in the sun, or be inside in the air conditioning. And that's where a lot of our adults and seniors are. So we would love to find some homes for some adult and senior cats.
Catpacity, I like that.
Yeah. We also have cats over at Petco, too. So
You do?
we hear that all the time from people like, I can't go to the shelter. It's too sad, which, it's not a sad place.
No.
It's a very happy place, actually.
Right.
But we have a partnership with Petco, and we have little kitty condos over there. And so we take cats over, and we adopt several hundred every year out of Petco.
Really?
Mhm.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So we've got, I just was there today. We've got 2 adults, and then we've got some kittens.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The rooms you were talking about where the cats are free to roam around in the room and settle in wherever.
Yep.
There were some on the wall. There were like some steps,
Yep.
and there were a couple of cats that were sitting there facing the wall. So they're all you saw was their back and their tails, and it was like the start of a cartoon.
Yeah.
Or something. It was like, and maybe that's where I've seen it before or something. That's why it hit that. But I thought, well, how cool! And they're just sitting there. They're just cool,
We had another donor who, they, in honor of their daughter who had passed away, they actually made a donation, and we renovated the cat building. So that's a relatively new renovation within the past year. But as part of that, we put a lot of enrichment into the family room. So steps where they can get at different heights, little nooks where they can hide, because a lot of them want to just kind of burrow in, out on the patios, plants that they could play around, and steps. So just enrichment for them to keep them, interested throughout the day and doing different things.
Yeah, but just because they're in a shelter doesn't mean they have to be bored.
Right. And
then
then, of course, we love people to come and play with them. You know,
Right.
anybody can come in. You don't have to be a volunteer. Anybody can come into the cat building and go into out on the patios and in the family rooms and play with the kitties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So much fun. And as I walked through where the dogs were, it was kind of like, I think we were the only 2 walking around. Well, we were there just before you opened, about 10:30, I
Yep.
think. And you open at 11.
Right.
And so the different dogs would come and try to get our attention, right? And then others would just kind of lay back and just look and watch and see what we were going to do. Are you going to open my door?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
And that's the thing. There again, every animal is an individual, and that's how we try to approach it. We also have a lot of enrichment for the dogs as well. We do doggy play groups. I'm sure Jerlene told you about that. Every day we get the dogs out, because while it's great for volunteers to come walk the dogs really need to be with other dogs to learn how to be dogs. We got a lot of really under-socialized dogs that maybe have never been around another dog. They have no clue how to even be a dog. So getting them out in these play groups, and it's I know it doesn't look like it's structured, but there really is structure to it. It's there's different ways that dogs play with each other, and getting them out there so they can play and get some energy out. And after play groups, you come in there and it's dead quiet. Every dog is tired, and they always say, a tired dog is a good dog. And we've got music, a sound system that somebody donated, and we have really calming, relaxing music. We use essential oils, different smells, different scents for the dogs, for calming. I mean, it's, you think, oh, it's just an animal shelter, how hard could that be to run? But honestly, if you're doing it right, and we feel like we are, there are so many different things involved,
Right.
and
Right.
enrichment's a huge part of it for the animals.
Well, when somebody adopts that animal, they're ready. I mean, it's not like they've just been laying down for the last 2 months, waiting for supper to be served or whatever, and get their bath whenever. That's it.
We
they're
try
ready
to get
play.
animals ready. So that includes the medical side of things. Of course, every animal is spayed and neutered before they're adopted out. But also things that maybe would be a barrier to an animal getting adopted. So we'll do a dental. You can take your dog to a clinic and get a dental, and it can be $500. So we'll do a dental. Maybe they need some teeth extracted. Old dogs, need some teeth pulled. We'll do all those things to get the animals ready, because that's just one more barrier that we can remove.
Right.
From
Pardon
somebody
the expression.
coming in. Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah, because nothing worse than an abscessed tooth,
Right.
which is what they lead to.
Yeah.
There was while I was there was a dog that had been hit by a car, and the back leg was I don't know, broken, dislocated, whatever it was, and they were kind of trying to figure out, I think, because they were busy with the cat neutering.
Right.
That dog wasn't being operated on that day, but they had some things in place that they were working with the dog to make it comfortable and get used to the facility, kind of a thing. I think it had just come in, I think, that either that morning or the day before.
Yeah.
But it's like, I mean, you get animals in all kinds of shape.
We do. We're an open admission shelter, so that means we have to accept any domestic animal that comes through our doors, no matter what condition they're in, no matter how old they are. And, we assess, what the situation is, what they need, and then we try to address their physical needs, or, the health issues, their mental state, all of that. As a matter of fact, we have a group called, I don't know if Jerlene shared this with you, but called 360, where we meet every 2 weeks, and it's people from all different areas in the shelter. So it's humane enforcement, it's the vet staff, it's the animal care team, it's marketing, my team, and we talk about some of the animals that have either been there for a while. I guess the animals that are not as straightforward. There are some animals that come in and you're like, that dog's going to get adopted in 5 minutes, so don't need to worry about that one. But then there are some that come in and they're harder, for whatever reason. Maybe they're big, maybe they're older, maybe they have health issues. So we get together, and it can take 2 hours, which everybody's busy, but we dedicate that time to talk through every single animal and what their needs are, and how do we address their individual needs. So maybe they need to be promoted, so maybe they become pet of the week. Maybe we need to do something special for them, to get more visibility on them. Maybe they need something behavioral. They need to be more mentally stimulated or challenged, or whatever it is. We get a plan for that animal. That animal has a plan, and then if they're still there 2 weeks later, okay, now what? Now what's the next thing?
Yeah.
So we really try to look at every single animal individually.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
They're not. There's individuals.
They are.
I love that.
And they should be treated as such.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
We got to take another break, and
Okay.
we'll be right back.
Aloha from Pacific Source, and thank you for your support over the years. Pacific Source has offered more of what builders and homeowners value most in building materials and cabinet design. We've done this by offering superior customer service and products, as well as by designing kitchens and baths that are intelligent and elegant while staying true to your vision and budget. Visit our showroom in Waikapu in Central Maui, where we display a variety of cabinets as well as top-name appliances like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Viking, KitchenAid, and more. We display countertops, tile and wood flooring, and several brands of windows and doors, including Fleetwood multi-slides and La Cantina folding doors. Come in and talk to our designers about making your dreams become a reality. From concept to completion, we really believe our attention to detail and superior service are what sets us apart. Let us show you what we mean. We are a Pacific Source at 515 East Oahe Way in the Consolidated Base Yard in Waikapu, just off Waiko Road. Call us at 986-0380 That's 986-0380, or look us up online at packsource.com.
And we are back. This is Maui Nonprofit Notes, the weekly radio show where we talk story with our nonprofit executive directors and staff. And today we have one agency in the spotlight. Our second agency, anybody out there who's related to any nonprofit or works with a nonprofit understands grant deadlines. And that's what hit our other agency that was supposed to be on today. They thought they had it under control. And this morning I get this panic phone call saying, you know what, we just had to almost start over on this application because we weren't hitting the mark. And we had to come from a different angle. So I'm sorry, but I've got to back out. And I said, well, you are in luck because we've got Nancy Willis, who's the Director of Development and Marketing for the Maui Humane Society, who's coming on in the other spot. And I think they probably have enough to talk about that would fill at least an hour, if not 2 or 3.
For sure.
And, of course, the fire is a big thing. It was the headlines last week and still is in the news. We talked about the catpacity. Why do I have so much trouble with that? Catpacity, which is adoption fees are waived on all adult cats now through August 4th. And then you've also got one for the dogs not to be left out.
We do. We are celebrating Dogust, which is the sort of universally recognized day where we celebrate all of the shelter dogs' birthdays, because a lot of times we don't know when their actual birthday is. So it is celebrated on August 1st. However, we're celebrating on the 3rd because that's a Saturday. And be from 11 to 1 at the shelter. It is a family-friendly, free event. We will have a kids zone where we're going to be making birthday cards for all the dogs, and then we put them up on their kennels. We're going to have Maui Mermaid Company there in a photo booth, so you can come get dressed up like a mermaid and take some pictures, and that's by donation for the shelter. 100% of it goes to the shelter. We're going to have birthday cake for all of the humans, and then we're going to have pup cakes for all of the dogs. And those are being provided by Maui Cookie Lab. Actually, they came the other day, side note, to bring some cookies as a thank you to all of our staff, which is so nice after the fire. And they brought some pup cakes for the dogs, and we posted some pictures. I don't know if you saw.
No, I didn't.
A couple dogs. Millie, this big, 90-pound sort of bully-looking dog. She's as sweet as can be. Honestly, if anybody's looking to adopt, come check out Millie. I cannot say enough about her. And then Boogie, a little dog who weighs about 4 pounds. And so the pictures are phenomenal. Oh, that's Millie. Yeah. And the pictures are phenomenal. They're on our Facebook page, but they just tore into those pup cakes. So we'll have pup cakes for all the dogs, and it'll be a very fun event. And then it's pick your price adoption fees. So on all animals, which a lot of times when we do that, we don't include kittens and we don't include the babies. So it'll be pick your price. So come on down. It's a super fun day, and help us celebrate the dogs' birthdays.
Cool. It's Saturday, August 3rd from 11 to 1.
Right.
Could be lots of fun. I always wonder what's in pup cakes.
Oh, I think it's like sweet potato and carrots and things like that. All safe for the pups.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
And she makes them. Actually, you can buy them. So if your dog is having a birthday party, you can actually buy them from Maui Cookie Labs. She takes orders for them. Those dogs, really, go look at the pictures because they were out of their minds. Millie, I think Millie ate the pup cake in one bite. It was gone.
Does she have a website, or is there a link to your website someplace, or where are the pictures?
On our Facebook page.
Are they on your Facebook page?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. She was in last week. So just look at our photos and you'll see them.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's part of the things that you guys are out there.
Yes.
So if you're a Facebook person, or you're just like me, who's the old old-fashioned kind that looks up a website.
Yes.
You know, it's
I don't think they're on our website, but they're on our Instagram too. That seems to be
Okay.
where the younger group is going to Instagram.
Oh, are they?
I'm still on Facebook, but but yeah, I always have to remember that Instagram exists. But yeah, they're on both.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, you have to be these days.
Yes, you do.
That's what's going on. So
Yeah.
now, I understand that you guys are on a hiring kick.
We are.
You've just had some promotions announced for some of the folks that are there, and
We had some new jobs added, and so some of our folks internally applied and were promoted, so that's exciting for them.
Cool.
We love that, to be able to promote from within. So that's opened up some other jobs, and actually some of the couple of the new jobs that were created are still open. So we have a whole listing on our website.
Okay.
So just go to our website, mauihumanesociety.org, and go to Get Involved, and then it's under Employment.
okay,
Yep.
great.
Yeah.
Great. That's for anyone who is an animal lover,
Yeah.
or you almost have to be, don't you? I mean, you can't just walk in
I
and
think
want a
so.
job.
I think the people that work there are passionate. I mean, I always say, nobody gets rich working in nonprofits. I mean, that's
Right. That's number
so
one.
it's got to be a passion. You're there for a reason. I mean, that was for me. It was sort of act 2 in my life of wanting to do something that was meaningful and to me and others, and animals were my passion.
Gotcha.
So I think that's how a lot of folks that work there feel.
Right. I know that you have a like a newsletter kind of thing you do on Fridays.
Our e-blast.
E-blast. Okay. Can anybody sign up to get that?
Yes, on our website. On the
Okay.
front page of our website, top right corner, you sign up for the e-blast. And it
Okay.
just gives you just a snippet of what's going on that week. There's always usually a happy success story, which is fun to see, and any events that are happening, that kind of thing.
Right. I like to look at the comments that come back from somebody who adopted a dog or cat
Yes.
a couple years ago, or somebody who got a Wings of Aloha
Mm-hmm.
animal in Oregon or wherever, and they're writing back to say, the family was just dysfunctional until we found, Millie or whoever the dog was.
Right.
And some of the pictures are so great, and you always wonder about sending a dog to Oregon or Washington too, Washington State.
Yeah,
Especially in the wintertime, right?
right.
And then
How they're going to adjust.
Yeah, and sometimes they'll show them out in the snow,
I
just having a
know.
barrel of fun, and you think,
Yeah.
from sand to snow, and it's kind of cool.
I think
Pardon the
animals,
expression.
well, I think dogs especially are very adaptable. I always say that about my dog. It's if I were to go away tomorrow, she would just go on to the next person. They just adapt and sort of, go with the flow.
Yeah,
But those stories are fantastic to see. And that is when we get a story like that comes through, because usually it goes to all staff, so we
Right.
all get it. And especially because I think we get so attached to the animals there, especially animals that have been there a long time, or if they were tough medical cases and you really know what they went through, and then you see them with families and with kids and playing in big yards or whatever it is on the beach, and it's just that's why you do it.
Yeah.
That's why you do it. So.
and sometimes they're kind of finicky. It's like a friend of mine was talking about these two roommates have a dog, and one of the roommates had to go have surgery, and so for a few nights they were gone, and said that the dog, who usually sleeps with the roommate that's home, shouldn't make any difference, right? One night the dog wasn't. She woke up to go to the bathroom or something, and the dog wasn't in bed with her. What the heck? Where's the dog? Sleeping next to the bed where the other person sleeps, and it was like, never ever. I mean, because some people like to have a dog sleep with them and some don't, right?
Right.
And so it was like that bed was off limits, but sleeping right there next to the bed,
Yeah.
and it's like he was missing her.
Yeah.
It's really interesting how dogs react to things.
I think they're so empathetic, and they, people say it's just a dog. That's
No,
just
it's
just
not.
not. It's not
No.
true. They have feelings. They have emotions.
Yeah.
So yeah, my dog Lulu. she sleeps in bed with me. I'm sure probably not the healthiest thing in the world, but she does. And when I'm gone, my mom will go to sleep in my bed and Lulu won't. She will sleep out in the living room.
She knows it's not you.
She just knows it's not me. She knows that's not how it is. And so she'll sleep in, and she sleeps fine on the couch, but she won't do it. So,
Interesting.
They find their person and that's it. They're attached to them. And yet I know if I were to go away, she would be fine. And,
Right.
She adapts because that's how they are.
Interesting.
So,
Wow.
Yeah.
How old is your dog?
Well, when I adopted her, they thought she was 11 or 12. So that would make her in the 15
Wow.
range. But she doesn't act 15.
Right.
So I don't know that that's true. But yeah.
Yeah. Mine just turned 19.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, but I ran into a lady the other day, and I had my dog with me. And she said, "Oh my gosh, that's just like the one we had."
Uh-huh.
And she leaned over to pet him and play with him a little bit. And she says, "How old is he?" And I said, "He's going to be 19." We gave him the 4th of July as his birthday.
Yeah.
Because it was about that time that
Mine is
I
New
adopted
Year's
him.
Eve because that's when I adopted her. on New
Okay,
Year's
there you
Eve,
go.
yeah.
And I said they told us he was about 5, when I adopted him. And so he'll be 19 on the 4th of July. And she said, she says, ours lasted to 22.
Oh, my gosh.
And I said, oh, good. Because for a little
Yeah.
while there, I was always kind of a little nervous, is today the last
I
day,
know.
and now I'm relaxed. I figure
Yeah.
I've got 3-4 more years,
That's great.
Yeah. But she said he's identical, and I think sometimes he's a terrier, I don't know what all he's got.
Right.
But he's a little 20-pounder.
So cute.
And he, when he runs around, he's like a puppy,
Yeah.
up and down the steps.
Mine is too.
Just crazy little dog. He's either sound asleep or he's going full blast.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had him for 15 years. That's fabulous. 14, 15 years. Wait a minute, if he was 5, when I got him, no, that's right, 19. Yeah, I've had him 14 years. But maybe he wasn't 5. How close can they get?
I know.
you
It's
know?
all a guess.
Yeah,
They estimate the best they can.
yeah.
So.
But anyway, just a wonderful companion, and like I say, I can't say enough about him. But
Yeah.
I don't think I could work at the Humane Society.
Well, I don't know. I probably fall in love every day with a different dog. I will admit I'm a dog person. But I have fostered cats, and I have loved a couple of cats. But yeah, I do fall in love probably every day with a different dog. But what keeps me sane and not adopting and becoming a hoarder is that I do like to foster. And if I had more than one, Lulu is accepting of it. If I had more than one, I couldn't foster.
Yeah.
So that keeps me in check.
Right.
And I think when Lulu goes, I say this now, but I probably won't adopt. I probably will just foster because I feel like it provides such a service to
Yeah.
the shelter.
Good point. That's a good
point. But then I say that now.
Right,
Who knows?
right. Who knows when
Who's
the
going to
time
steal
comes.
your heart? So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's it? Walking through the kennel the other day, different ones would look up, and I go, "Oh, that's the look I got from Scooter when I came in here."
Right.
But I've determined I'm not going to adopt a big dog. I'm done with big dogs. I've had a
Yeah.
couple of the big ones, and that's just at this point it's too much.
Yeah.
Whereas a 20-pounder's perfect.
Manageable,
He
yeah.
just. But he's still strong. If he wants to go get something, he's
Yeah.
gonna jerk that
He'll
arm.
pull, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so one of the statistics that I want to be sure we cover before I let you go here is the live release
Yes.
rates. It is such a dramatic turnaround from what it used to be.
Yes, absolutely.
And I know Jerlene is super proud of this because that's part of her whole main purpose in being involved with the shelter, and that is that you've hit more than 90% for both the dogs and cats in live release. And I think the statistics she gave me the other day was that either last month or the month before they hit 98%.
So I have here, I just pulled it up. This is our fiscal year end. So we've posted this, I believe, on our website, so it's not a secret. But our dog live release rate for the year, so fiscal 2019, was 96.8%,
Wow.
which I don't know if people understand exactly what that means, but when you're an open admission shelter where you have to accept every animal that comes in through your door, that's astounding. So yeah, that, and the live release rate, just so people understand, is that's the percentage of animals that have left the shelter to a positive outcome, meaning adoption, transfer, or return to owners, so like a lost animal. And the cats, are a little bit more challenging because we factor in what we call the community cats. But still, as you know from many years ago, the live release rate was, I think, in the 30s somewhere. We're at over 82%.
Wow.
So that's all cats. So that's owned cats and community cats.
That's incredible.
Yeah. And we still have more work. We're not satisfied with those numbers. We are still working. We are working to make them even better.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That is a statistic to be proud of as an agency and as an organization and a group of people who just are out there and have that special feel for the animals.
Yeah, we are proud, and our staff, we do all staff meetings quarterly where we get our whole staff together, which is no small feat, in that conference room. We're stacked in there. And we talk about stats and numbers. And for people that have been there a long time, people have been around a long time and they know where we've come from, there's tears. It's emotional to see how far we've come.
Wow. Terrific job you guys have been doing, and I know you'll continue doing it. Jerlene, I think her last day is August 1st.
Yes,
she said, which we're
not even able to talk about it at this point. But
I'm sure, it's a tough one.
Yeah.
But like she said, she's got a tremendous staff, and it's just going to keep going.
The work will continue.
Yeah. And she's set the mark pretty high for everybody.
She has.
Yeah.
She has.
So, Nancy, thank you for joining us today.
You.
Hey, our hour's up.
Thanks for the opportunity.
It's incredible, but you've done so much, and I look forward to talking to you again in a few months.
Thank you.
To see what's up, and I'm running out of time, he says. Okay, thanks again, Nancy. We appreciate it, and hugs to everybody at the shelter.
Thank you.
It just, I won't stay away that long again.
Please. We want to see you there.
Maui Nonprofit Notes is sponsored as a community service by Pacific Source, the builder's choice. Please give them a call at 986-0380 or stop by their showroom in the Waikapu Bayshard on East Oahe Way to see how they can help you with your building project. Pacific Source has been our sponsor from day one, and we thank them for their ongoing support. And to you, our listeners, we thank you for the response our agencies get from you regarding the activities that we talk about on this program. Oh, that's been a whirlwind. Mm-hmm. Yeah? I just, every time we talk about the animals, I get a picture in my mind of a different dog or cat that I saw the other day. Mm-hmm. And I'm ready to go back, and those I didn't play with them. I can't do that. I don't have time for that. I have to make time, right?
Yeah.
That's the secret. Oh, there you go. Volunteer, right?
volunteers.
Oh my goodness. You got it. Volunteer time. So today we visited with Nancy Willis, who's the Director of Development and Marketing for the Maui Humane Society, and got an update on what's been happening with them and what's going to continue happening with our little friends, the dogs and the cats and the other animals that are out there. We want to thank you all for tuning in, and please don't forget to join us again next week right here, same time, same place, when we'll talk to two other member agencies of the Maui Nonprofit Directors Association. Until then, I'm Susie Tiemann, Executive Director of Lokahi Pacific, and your host for Maui Nonprofit Notes. Thanks for joining us today. Have a great week, everyone. Aloha.